and what the operator bans are going to be.
I can imagine, obviously, fairly. I think Habana will probably change. paiN straight away. I know they want to take Lion out of it. I say, and I'm glad that has kind of come to fruition yet. Lion, I'm thinking a Buck. I think a Buck might get taken off. Last time, however, they played like this, they took out IQ.
I honestly, I think an IQ might come out here again from Team Liquid. No, it's going to be a Montaigne. Makes a lot of sense, though. That garage push definitely very, very good to have a Montaigne on the attack. So they're going to ban out that completely, going to stop that garage push being so particular. And that did hurt them a lot the last time they did play Clubhouse. So we're going to see the first defender ban coming out from them. What do you think this could be?
Potentially an Echo, potentially a Maestro. One of those two. I don't think they'll take out. Oh no, Clash. Well,
which is interesting because Liquid play a lot of Clash, but we haven't really seen paiN play a lot of Clash. But don't forget, paiN do start out on the defense, so they want to try and affect that off. And you know, this is the defense-sided map, and Clash is definitely going to hurt with that. We see paiN Gaming with their final ban. It's actually going to be the Valkyrie, fairly surprisingly. Although maybe if Liquid want to play this aggressively, they're not going to be able to do so if they don't have that Valkyrie on the board. But that is going to leave Mirror, Maestro, and Echo all alone.
Yeah, that's all sorted. And to be honest, as you said, Liquid, they're very good with shields. I think the time and their decision there and the discussing was them probably trying to convince Sexy Cake, no, we're not going to let them have Clash. You're not allowed to have it either. But hey, we'll see how it plays out in their tactics. They could have a completely new strategy for this Clubhouse. But we go to Church Arsenal Room first. And it's a fairly standard setup so far. But Sexy Cake on the Buck after banning it out so much this tournament.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine a situation where they're on the op ban screen and everyone else has voted for Clash, and then Sexy Cake still doesn't want it to ban. He wants to play his Clash.
No.
He voted for someone else. He's screaming at his teammates. Please. Like, please don't take it away from me. But he's going to be playing the Buck. I mean, he's a great Buck player as well. He's been one of the most consistent fraggers across from Liquid, as you said. In the last series, he had a pretty good KD at the end of it. So we'll see what happens here as paiN Gaming go for their first defense. It's not going to be a downstairs defense to start with here.
Yeah, we drop down to the basement. Again, we've often talked about this point throughout this and how it kind of fits into how Latam like to play roughly as a region. You can never really sum up a region, but roughly as a region, which is, it's such a wide point and there's generally so many big ways into it and so many famous points that you can have a roam, but you don't really have to. You don't really have to throw a roam. There's so much of it to cover anyway that a lot of the times if you do have a roam, the way you collapse is quite important. But also saying that, we've seen these guys play 2 roamers, maybe even occasionally 3 roamers upstairs on this, and it kind of worked. So there's not a huge amount you can kind of say of how they like to play this.
Yeah, I mean, you can play this pretty aggressively now, especially with the fact that you have the rotate up from blue now, and that has completely changed how you can play this basement defense. But as we already made, that paiN Gaming didn't have a good game at all on Clubhouse last time.
No, they obviously, I mean, they lost it out. They had a better game on Clubhouse than they did on Border. Border was a 1-6, but Clubhouse was a 4-6. And, you know, how it kind of translates to your confidence coming back into a map, because you know that, yeah, it was a 7-6, but Liquid played through this and they won it. And this is their pick. So they're confident to keep rolling on it. They're confident with what they showed and what they can bring. Yeah, we'll see how it translates.
We will see how it translates. Good bit of removing the ADS there before it gets burned by the battery, but we still see a fairly aggressive hold coming out here from paiN Gaming, just trying to hold on to those vertical angles as they start to come through. But Liquid slowly making progress here. Doom pushing into the garage. Here we see Sex Cake on the Buck. He's going to do a little bit of work here. I feel like this lineup kind of suggested that they thought it was going to be an upstairs start, because the Montaigne ban came through as well from Liquid, so it would make sense to go CCTV cash room to start with from paiN Gaming. So we'll see how it goes through and we'll see what Liquid want to do here. But not having the Habana, I think, is definitely going to hurt them a little bit here.
Yeah, obviously they've only really got Zig to start opening up either hatches or those blue generator walls. So you've also got Tunnel now. I think without a Monty knowing that they've got a smoke, pushing Tunnel isn't always going to be a great strategy. It's going to be very hard to kind of move around there. And yeah, you might have one of the best blitz players in the world on your team, but that doesn't make it any easier when they have such an easy way to shut it down. This is going to be a big point of contention, obviously, getting the thermite on this drop down. You can see Zig is kind of dancing around bullets. Sexy Cake is trying their very hardest to get that frag and just cover the plant of this charge, because this is going to be a big part of whether they actually get this push or not.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a big part of that. We will see Liquid starting to open up a little bit more vertically here and see what exactly they can make of all of this. But we haven't seen a frag at either side yet, and it's 30 seconds left to go on the clock. We also haven't seen Liquid open up too much here. Zig finally going to be doing a little bit of work here with the thermite charges. Should open up either Moto drop or should open up Kitchen. But no, he's actually going to rotate the way down and might be able to try and open up Church instead. The smokes are going to come out, but Sexy Cake is going to fumble a bit with a nade and take himself out. PSK moves all the way into the armory, but GCR shuts him down. Zig gets the refrag, moves all the way in, but Revolts takes down Ness. It's a 2v4, all down to Zig now to try and bring it in, but no, Revolts pushes all the way up, takes him down. paiN Gaming take round number 1, but what a slow attack from Liquid.
They wasted a ton of time trying to get that hatch open. Obviously, you can see it. As you said, they didn't have the Habana. They only had the thermite. It's a harder animation. It's harder to get that locked off. And the dancing and the running around that they were doing shows that they really desperately wanted it. And leaving yourself that final 30 seconds, 45 seconds to not only start another plan, but start it from scratch where you're doing those like base break-ins and base destructions, it becomes much harder now.
I think no matter how the start of this, the first half goes, unless, the defense start to lose quite a lot, I feel like it still just puts out that Clubhouse is very defender-sided. We often see the defenders win 4 or 5 rounds, so maybe it won't matter too much going in here, but I don't know, I'm kind of more interested to see how Liquid's attacks are going to go, rather than how their defense is going.
It's a fair shout, but we can see obviously bullets back on the Glaz. They did 6th pick off from a blitz as well. So they're trying to kind of bait them out and make them assume that they're going to be bringing a tighter shield game. Setting up a lot inside cash room. They're going to cover just in case, but fully reinforcing the cash wall. So they're not going to have that stair rotate just in the northeast corner there. It's down to how they want to play it. Obviously, GCR, who's done some pretty decent setups before, looks like they're going to play in Garage and top blue, potentially. But, yeah, they're still just setting up. The mute is obviously a big part of this. The mute is there, and there is no way to easily get rid of those mute jammers if they're setting them up on Jacuzzi wall, which they have done.
Well, we'll see how it goes through, as we will see all of this starting to go down for paiN Gaming, and we'll see how they hold this upstairs. I'm still kind of surprised they went gym bedroom though, maybe part of their strategy is just to go places that they're not going to expect, that Liquid aren't going to expect. But the problem with this is if they take CCTV Cash Room next round, and they win it, they can't go there again.
Yeah, the thing about CCTV Cash is obviously we've seen it less as a favorite spot in the LATAM play days, but there's so many good ways to play it nowadays, and obviously it really depends on the operators you bring. There's some that just completely lock it off. There's some that do not. It's always interesting to see how it can kind of translate to different play regions and different play styles. Generally, they haven't really opted for it. They've opted for it as a 2nd point a lot of the times, and even then, as we see now, a 3rd point. They just prefer the gym bedroom hold.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be going through. Let's see how it does go down for Liquid. Already opening Jacuzzi, so already a lot quicker for the thermite here to get quickly in and drone all this out. Bullet putting his drone down in the hallway to see what's going on there. And it's looking like a gym push here for Liquid, but it's going to be pretty hard for them to deal with this because it's all about momentum. We say momentum is definitely key here to get in. They're going to have to build on the utility that goes down. So we'll see how that does go through. We'll see how they make it work. Sexy Cake going to get a little bit lit up in the feetsies through the drone hole there. Now going to be playing fairly aggressively onto logistics hatch. Also drones coming out here from Liquid to see exactly how they want to go for this execute.
You can see Glaz Bullet getting those long sight lines. Now, there's always the argument of, can you use Glaz for this particular reason that he was built for, or you can use him as an entry pusher if he moves in and amongst his own smokes. And they are starting to force them away from this Jacuzzi side and push them deeper. And they are all stacked up here. So they know where they want to enter, and they have a minute left. So the idea of rotations, and big rotations at least, are becoming less and less viable. Now, you can see that they're slowly pushing people back. They're droning, they're working, they know where everyone is, and they know where they want to find them, but it's getting that first frag, it's getting that first entrance as Sexy Cake starts to rotate underneath. They go for the quick peek on the mirror, but they are just breaking straight in. Here goes Ying on that entry point, and somehow gets dropped in and amongst it.
Revolts all the way from Island does manage to shut him down, and oh no, it's just all going so badly for Liquid right now. But Bullet does manage to find his entry frag onto FK1. 60k takes down 9. Bullet takes down another one. Revolts is out of it. Spawns takes down Zig in return. However, but it's going to be all down to Spawns as Bullet finishes off GCR. He's going to be using his Maestro cam to try and get us out. But no, Capital Bolts are going to go down. There's no way he can push through this right now. And yeah, PSK will shut him down. Team Liquid take round number 2.
Well, it was an all or nothing push. I think that's what you can really say about that. They threw generally everything. Obviously, Sexy Cake, towards the end of that, did a very short rotate and started pushing up from underneath the stairs. Nesk going down as they entered must have, like, that was never good. That's always shaky when that happens, but luckily the team are brilliant in communication and able to pick up those frags. If there was just one more thing that went the way of paiN there, though, that could have very easily gone completely the other way.
Really well played indeed coming out there from Liquid, but in particular there from Bullet just on the entry fragging role. Interesting is actually going to take the Ying this time rather than Nesk, but Nesk is going to return onto his more traditional role on the Zofia. Bullet going to be 6-picking onto the Glaz, and GCR going to 6-pick onto
something.
I'm kind of thinking a Smoke is the only thing that's missing from the paiN lineup here.
I would say, oh, well, I guess they're bringing a Mute. I normally prefer to see a Bandit on this point rather than the Mute, especially if you're going to be bringing the Jaeger, just to kind of, again, keep that east wall as long as possible. But obviously, they're trying to bait out that Ying decision. They're giving paiN the idea they might be leading with a Ying again, 6-picking off, and going to have much more kind of, obviously, they've got the more specific, arguably, directional pushes here. I don't think we'll see a push from Jacuzzi again, just based on the setup, based on the choices, and based on they'll be expecting that if they saw a Ying.
Yeah, they will be expecting that indeed. Let's see how it does go down, as we'll see paiN Gaming again doing for a gym bedroom defense. But honestly, I would have thought that Liquid will be expecting a CCTV cash room defense. But as you said, you know, we don't really see this too popular aside from Latin America for whatever reason, but it's kind of ironic because last season, before the Clubhouse rework came through, Latin America was one of the early sort of pioneers of making that site defendable. But now that it's changed, they don't seem to really want to go there too much, especially in this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you only kind of speak of what you see directly inside the tournament. As you said, they are not favoring it for whatever particular reason. They're much more comfortable and much more confident trying to hold this. And to be fair, the kind of break-ins we've seen against this point have generally all rotated around that Jacuzzi balcony. And I said they probably won't do it again, but they're stacking up drones there. They're getting information from there. So I guess it's just more comfortable. And something that you often notice about the way Latin likes to play is they love to keep their firefights flat. In a game where it's a lot of destructions and stuff, almost every single player and almost every single team, they really enjoy having these balanced firefights and just bringing it down to Fragger versus Fragger and these fights that seem to work in everyone's favor. There's no team that doesn't do it. I guess this is just one of those points where they can feel more comfortable getting those kind of fights.
Jacuzzi wall again getting it opened up so early on, but I don't really like the strategy here from paiN, because if they've left that wall unreinforced, then that's easily going to get destroyed. And even if they're, okay, we have a mirror, we can still hold on to it. If they knew there was a Ying on the other side, why would you do this if it's so easy for a Candela to go in here and for you to get pushed out?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So they kind of put a lot of faith. You can see Pulse is instantly moving back. Maybe they do expect a Candela there, but obviously it is not in their lineup. They're going to start trying to push exactly the same way we saw them do the same thing with about a minute left. Obviously, the Pulse is a big change here, feeding them information about when the push may or may not be coming. They have the mirror windows as well, a lot of sight lines, but again, all 5 of them currently stacked up on Jacuzzi.
All 5 of them stacked up against there. Indeed, ADSs are going to get burned. That should start to signal the push here from Liquid. GCR being very cautious about this. He's going to throw a Nitro, but he's not going to hit his mark. Sexy Cake is going to get insanely lit up, though, from it. And it's going to be Zig who pushes outside on the balcony. They're still very wary that there could be another Nitro out here. GCR pushes up into all of them, but the Capital boat goes down. It's actually going to save GCR from his death. And another Nitro goes out from 9. Does manage to find Nest. Zig goes down to FK1. That's a 3v5. Not looking too good for Liquid.
Well, I did say that they probably shouldn't generally push from there, but they've got a lot of uphill now. There's 27 seconds left to go. PSK has rotated off. Going to push from the side. Gets caught out by FK1, who's doing a similar thing. Spawns, finds Bullet, and it is now down to the Buck, who is pushing from the same place they pushed from before, but with a lot less health. There's one push straight into the sightline. Gonna pre-fire, but the mirror is there to pick up that frag. 2-1.
2-1 indeed, but that's paiN Gaming's first successful defense on a defender-sided map. Sorry, no, it's not. It's their second.
That's gonna. It's 2-1.
But like, it's just so surprising they haven't won as many defenses as they have. They really should be 3-0 right now. But, Liquid, I don't know. I liked the push coming out from them initially, but there was a lot of like mistiming issues coming out from them.
It was curious why they decided to roll with it a second time, with arguably not a good lineup of operators to do that kind of push. Obviously, there's 6th pick off the Ying, who worked very well to just push straight into the heart. And what they seemed like they were missing there was that initial operator to start pushing inside, be it a Ying, be it a Blitz, be it something that can just get that initial 5-10 feet and really start a push from that side. To then try it the exact round after it just worked. It's a bold attempt, I'll give them that, but unfortunately it just did not pay off this time.
But again, you know, I'm more looking at how well that Liquid can do on these attacks rather than how well paiN Gaming are doing the defenses. But it doesn't really seem like paiN are even contesting these pushes really that much, although they're playing it fairly conservatively. They're not really peeking as much as waiting for Liquid to push into them. And a lot of those are going quite well for them. That kind of Nitro strategy that came through, completely countering the very heavy pushes that came from Jacuzzi. And Liquid kind of fell apart there right at the end of that. But we're going to back to an Arsenal room, church room defense coming out here from paiN Gaming, which was pretty successful for them last time. Liquid only scored 1 frag on the board here.
Yeah, they really wasted a lot of time getting that Arsenal kitchen hatch. And there was some very good play, but Bullet with an opening frag against TCR, who I believe tried a run out from Dirt Tunnel.
Yeah, he will try the run out, but he will get shut down immediately for it. Great opening kill there from Liquid. And that is the Bandit down already. That is a pretty big pick in terms of utility. I don't think that GCR runs the aggressive Bandit Nitro, but if he did, that would have been pretty bad.
FK as well suffered a fair bit of damage, going quite aggressive. Currently hanging around, whether they were in Garage being aggressive, and they at least escaped with their lives, and that will slow down the movements of Liquid. But again, handing a team that thrives on frags an early frag, peeking the glass outside? Well, I never.
Well, I never, indeed. Not looking too good for paiN Gaming already, but we saw last time Liquid were very, very slow going in here, and I really just don't understand why no Habanos come out from them.
Yeah, it's kind of a point where you think maybe they should start looking at that. Maybe they should start looking at ways to approach this map with just something a bit more solid in their hands as well. Obviously, having the entry kind of pushes has worked very well for them on the round that they won, having the Ying, but they've 6th pick off of a Blitz. You start to wonder, well, we know Liquid is very good with Blitz. We know they're very good shield players. It could be a big boon just to be able to start pushing against paiN that seems to struggle. But they have broken into Memorial Room. They are generally dropping in there. 9 finds a beautiful pick. Oh, it wasn't even 9. It was Spawns finds one. 9 got a shotgun pick up. Spawns with another one. PSK shuts down Spawns after just lying there and getting many frags. Gonna push through the smoke, but the shotgun is there to lock it off. And it is suddenly Sexy Cake versus 2.
Yeah, FK1 actually managed to rotate all the way upstairs instead and picked him from the moto hatch. Now all down to Sexy Cake to drop down here and try and frag out as much as he can. But again, from Liquid, just all kind of pushing from one angle and getting picked from multiple times. And Revolts still has a Nitro that he can still very easily throw into moto here if he chooses to do so. Sexy Cake is not having a good time at all. He's going to recognize that he cannot drop moto. He's going to have to rotate around instead. But this door actually isn't opened up. He's going to try and rotate through onto the stairs, see what he can do there, but he can't get a pick and he can't open up that door either. So it's not looking too good for him at all. He's going to put down a bit of Zofia charge. He knows someone is playing very, very close to the door as well, because his Zofia charge went off immediately. So not looking too good for him at all. 10 seconds left to go on the clock. He is going to try and destroy the barbed wire here. Does manage to put out a couple of impacts, but no, he will go down to 9. Takes him down with a shotgun. paiN Gaming take round number 4.
Well, again, we've talked about what they are struggling to do on their attack, and as we said, they're just struggling to bring something that either allows them a bit more control and speed over those hatches and over the map, which would be Hibana on a point like that, or something to lead them into the point and lead them into the room. Nesk is picking up Ying again, so I think they're also realizing that was what they're missing, but we're going to go to Bar as the closing hold.
Yeah, Bar as a closing hold indeed. Let's see how it does go down as we move into round number 5. So, not looking too good here, I would say, for Liquid. But as I said, this is a defense-orientated map. But it's interesting that paiN Gaming would rather go Bar than go CCTV Cache.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those points, obviously, where, hey, some places just prefer it, and I will point out that the last time that Liquid were on this map, they went into the half 4-1 as well. And they started off as attackers then, and they pulled it back to be 7-6 by the end when they were playing boot camp. So, you know, you kind of look at the history of the team, you look at how they're playing. I think paiN are in a slightly better position at the minute as far as they look more confident than boot camp did, for sure. There was a lot of close games. But it wouldn't be the first time that they've been at that much of a deficit and then pulled it back to win the map.
Liquid are definitely struggling on the attack here, but as you said multiple times already, this is a defender-sided map, so we're expecting defenders to win most of the rounds here, but I don't know. I don't think that lobby press room is honestly that good of a defense, and certainly not better than the CCTV cache room, but I guess it kind of just comes down to the players and how they particularly want to hold on to it. And we'll see how indeed it's going to go down. As we see round number 5 getting good away. This is going to be the final defense here. But this really gives Liquid an opportunity to really push in. Although I will say, with a Monty ban here, the lobby press room does become a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, obviously taking big shields out of any game, when you know that this is a map that really works well with Monty and Clash, it's a big step out of any team's arsenal, really. It's just nice to have on a map like this. You can see that paiN are playing a little bit aggressive around this. They're kind of going to try and find fights upstairs and slightly away from the point, but Nesk is the one trying to push and shut down FK. The Jaeger finding himself forced round, puts some bullets into the leg of Sexy Kate, gets into a little bit of a ranged firefight with Nesk as well, and they are trying to shut down FK before they start getting control. There's 2 drones watching. You can see bullets up in the rafters as well, and this is quite a hard spot to get the frag on, but Nesk finds GCR in the meantime, who is rotating into Garage.
Yeah, great shot coming out from him as well. GCR going to go down, and Nesk finds another one. FK1 going to go down. Beautiful shots coming out from Nesk. That's a 3v5 already. And this is looking really bad for paiN Gaming right now, because they've just lost 2 very important roamers on the board so early on.
Yeah, now they do obviously still have Revolts playing up there as well. Going to open themselves a mirror window, try to give themselves a little bit more freedom, a little bit more movement. It is Elysian, so again, you've always got those goo mines consistently popping in your pocket. They will still need to shut them down. Spawns is playing just inside kitchen, a little bit off point, but 9 is the one that's probably going to find themselves shut down sooner rather than later. But Revolts finds Sexy Cake. That's what happens when you do not shut down all of the roam. Suffered very little damage, but Nesk, however, now at half health, picking the fight with Revolts.
No, not looking too good at all. Revolt's going to be playing up onto the top of the east stairs here, and he's going to be putting down some Legion mines. But meanwhile, Zig on the fragmite is going to find his entry frag that he needed. Smokes are going to go down. Spawns has an opportunity here. He's going to try and take it, goes for the hipfire and tries to get it, but how does he not deny the diffuser going down? Spawns can't hit anything through that smoke. That is not good. 4v2 situation. Now Revolt's going to turn it into a 3v2. Pushes through, takes down Nesk, and now it's a 2v2 instead. As Spawn's going to push up, he gets the refrag onto Bullet. But now, the Diffuser is down. It starts to do its work. And Liquid are still in a very, very good position here to try and bring this in. They're going to be holding down onto this east run out here. Revolt's still going to be looking for the angle to run out on. And he sees Zig, but Zig will shut him down. PSK gets his own kill onto Spawns as well. And Liquid secure round number 5. Surprisingly close first half.
Yeah, I will say about that end round, very bravely, the Maestro just crept up and started defusing, and there was a moment where in my head I was thinking, well, there's no one really in an immediate position to cover this, and it looked like they realized that as well, as they instantly darted back. They both went down to close down the Elysian, but at the same time, the bravery on that defuse planter to stay and stick with the plant when bullets were flying all around you, lesser planters would have given up.
Yeah. That's definitely terrifying, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to sit down staring at the floor for 7 seconds, and all this action is happening behind you. But, you know, it's kind of plant or die at that point. He's going to be planting down that. And we're going to get into the first defenses here from Liquid. I'll be interested to see as well if Liquid decide to go for a CCTV cash room, because they're not doing so yet. But banning the Montaigne, I feel like you kind of have to if you're going to do that.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think they're going to be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief now as they swap over into their defense side. Obviously, Monty is off the board. They're kind of confident. We've seen Zig play this point on the Echo very well before, locking up a lot. And again, as I said before, taking just money off gives you a little bit more freedom, a little bit more breathing room around Dirt Tunnel. And the last time they played this, I believe, smoke was off the table. They did not have a smoke at all to try and hold this defense.
No, they didn't have a smoke at all. Let's see if it will prove true for them. Let's see where exactly it's going to go down. We're going to move now into round number 6. And we're actually going to see a Zig Echo shotgun. We've seen this a few times already. Zig has played quite a lot of Echo shotgun in the past.
Yeah, and as I said, he's played it very well. You always look at Zig, you can always generally tell, I think, what Zig is adding to a team, or what Zig brings to his role as IGLs. And there's always the discussion about what can you do, and what is the role of a set player and a set operator inside a team. And I think with Zig, he does it very cleanly on whatever he's bringing. We've seen his work as Echo, we've seen his work as Doc, and he's always generally there in a good way. However, what I am excited about here is the use of Maverick from GCR. Now, GCR we've seen has had a fairly solid couple of maps. They're very good at picking up frags. They're very good at playing GS stuff off with the rest of the team, trying to pick up those roams. Spawns again on the Jackal, and seeing the combination of those two, I'd like to see how this starts to devolve.
I don't know, though, it's still just something that amazes me here is that paiN Gaming, with their lineup here, especially with the fact that they brought the Maverick, seems to suggest that they were expecting a CCTV cash room hold. So if they're expecting Liquid to do that first, why would they never take it?
It's the magic of Siege. Now, you can see Jackal is instantly doing work, and again, talking about players who are beastly on operators. Spawns is a hell of a Jackal player, and again, the best Jackal players have a good team and a good support structure behind them to close down on those kills and get those frags, and you can see it instantly working. Nine is looking for the Habana drop down, but also the potential of a frag. Sexy Cake, baiting and waiting, and a beautiful take of 9 there, and that is the Habana off the board.
That is an insanely important kill for Sexy Cake there. He's going to get the Habana, and that might just be the round 1 for Liquid right there. And then an insanely good angle from Sexy Cake there is going to take down the Habana. And not the only hard breacher, but a very high impact hard breacher.
Yeah, that's when you take the hard breacher off the board and they don't have anything open yet. It's so powerful, it's so influential. Obviously, they still have the possibility of soft destruction, but against this point, that doesn't really matter. You've now got to think, well, how are we going to throw our operators into this point? How are we going to start pushing against them? Yeah, they have one drop down done there, but it's easy to pick up from. We saw, obviously, paiN themselves picked off most of Liquid when they were forced through a similar hole and a similar problem, but this is going to be a hard uphill for paiN.
It is, and that's going to start with a bit of pain for themselves. Nesk is going to take down Spawn. That is one of the most important fraggers gone off the board from paiN, and also smokes out of it as well. That is not good at all. Liquid still holding down quite well in a 5v3. As PSK going to be putting down some smokes, but Zig going to get very aggressive with it on the Echo. Surprisingly, he's getting his head clean taken off by GCR. Tries to push through Moto. Flashbangs go down to burn the ADS. Is going to get all the way in. Flashbangs do successfully go off. Bullet still being holding down. Takes down GCR with a headshot. Tries to find another one, but Remorse will trade him right on back. And that's a 3v2, but they do have secured control of a church. FK1 pushes all the way in through blue, but Sexy Cake takes it down. And Team Liquid will win by time. Round number 6 is theirs. They have even the score without.
3-3. 3-3. Liquid, they're a team, as we said many a times. They like to build momentum. They like to build speed. And again, on a map like this, where it's one where, yeah, the defenders are pretty set up. Hey, that's how it plays out. But we will rotate up to CCTV and Cash Room, and we are seeing a fairly similar loadout.
Yeah, fairly similar loadout coming out from them indeed. Let's see how it does go through, as we'll see Liquid with yet another defense. And they're going to go finally to CCTV Cash Room. And this is exactly what I was expecting, and it looks like that is what paiN are expecting. And I'm so glad to see paiN running an IQ here.
Yeah, they brought an IQ on the previous round. They're bringing an IQ on this round again. It's just, it can be so influential, especially now on a point like this, where you're going to be looking for Bandit, especially on that wall, looking for any potential of a Bandit trick, feeding that information. You know that they've obviously been playing a Jaeger. You know that Zig's just played an Echo as well, which just gives you further reason to bring the IQ. It's not a wrong decision in this book.
No, it's not at all. Let's go through now into round number 7, see exactly how that is going to go down. And we'll see exactly what they want to do here. But I don't know about this. I don't know. Because there's a lot here to deal with that east wall. There's the Maverick, there's the Buck, and there is spawns as well. He's got soft zone. So yeah, I'm really not confident that there's a lot that Liquid can do to stop that east wall getting opened up. But I think they're going to be holding it pretty heavily from Garage, and that is why they destroyed, well, they banned them off there.
Yeah, it's obviously, when you look at that kind of lineup, if there was a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C to taking down East Wall, you're generally looking at it. I mean, the only one, if you had a Thatcher, that would be full balls to the wall with dropping this East Wall, but they have enough easily to kind of get control of that. The speed at which paiN do that is going to be quite a big thing, but it looks like they want to try and lock off Garage first, which, to be fair, isn't the worst idea. You can see a lot of barbed wire. You know they're going to be playing in there, and you know they're going to be playing it hard from the angle. So even if you did get East Wall open, being watched from that top rung of Garage is a monster to deal with.
Yeah, so SK going to be holding down onto the top of Garage to see what he can do. He has been droned out of here, of course. So see very soft peats coming out here. Flashbangs are going to go out to burn the ADSs. Flashbangs will successfully go on, actually successfully flashbang Sexy K. What a throw there, as the white peak comes out from Sexy K, does manage to successfully take down FK1 as well. That is a great frag from Sexy K here, still holding it down, and no one wants to contest him here right now.
That was a beautiful take against the IQ that was trying to be a little bit cheeky and going for that old-fashioned lie down in the open door and hope they're still flashed, but unfortunately Sexy K is a hell of a player. Could pick that up. Now GCR has those Maverick holes, but the mirror window is still kind of being played slightly aggressively. They still have the bandits up on the wall. They are struggling to get it off. They need to try to find a way to kick Sexy Cake out of there just to make Bullet much less confident playing that wall as tightly as Bullet is. Or they've got to start looking at that opposite window. But no, Sexy Cake is not allowing it. That is another kill through the door, and Bullet gets revolts through the Maverick hole. 9 pushes from underneath to find Sexy Cake and find Nesk. But this is now a spawns even, and it was 9 who's actually pushed inside.
There's still so much intel for Liquid right now, definitely in the form of Zig's Echo Drone here. He's going to be able to spot out both of them right now. They have no idea where it is, and the IQ is dead, of course. And oh, what a nice shot coming out from spawns there. Does manage to find a Bullet's head through an incredible peak, but only 30 seconds left to go, and there's just so much utility left here for Zig, as he will manage to push all the way through and bring his Echo Drones back to the site. There's no opportunity to rotate here, so they're just going to have to push all the way through the Garage, and they know where they're pushing, so there's not really any secrets here. It's just going to be all about intel and all about how you can push this. Nitro's going to go out, but oh, Zig with a shotgun. He's going to take down Spawns, moves all the way up. He's expecting another rotate, and yeah, it will come through. PSK shuts it down. Team Liquid take round number 7, looking flawless on this defense so far.
There was a decision that was made by Zig there. Was, do I pull back and trust the Echo drones, or do I look at this supernova in my hands and do I just go for it? And yeah, he made the right decision there. He picked off that one frag. As soon as that diffuser had hit the ground, you could say the round was over. Hibana had to push and try and get those frags. And you've got Mira with a C4 still. You've got so much, as you said, utility left. But 4-3 for the first time this game. Liquid have taken control and pulled back the leadership. But at the same time, paiN did a similar thing in the previous game, and then Liquid managed to pull it back. So it's still all to play for between these two teams that are really bringing a very, very good balance of structure and finesse to these attacks. They're just occasionally struggling to get that execute off.
But it's going to be Liquid who go bar Stockroom. Still a pretty popular site for both of them, despite the fact that paiN Gaming didn't successfully hold on to the site and the diffuser did go down from Liquid. And I'm wondering what Liquid are going to do here to stop what happened during the defense for paiN from happening to them.
Yeah, I mean, they held this against Boot Camp as a point. They got all frags against it. Obviously, we saw the shutdown of 2 roamers upstairs very quickly. One was caught in the middle of a rotate trying to back up the other one, and then it was just a matter of closing down on the other one with Nesk, the frag machine, locking them off. So how that translates to Liquid's hold, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, they have the ACOG Rook, they have PSK as well. Just see how this translates.
From the operator lineup from paiN, it seems kind of obvious that they are going to be just smoking out Stockroom and just trying to go for that plant. I think they're very similarly done here from Liquid as well, but I think something that paiN did wrong here is that they played a mirror and they played it soft, but they didn't play anyone stock at all.
Yeah, they kind of gave up stock. And sure, stock can be a very hard room to hold, and which is often cited as being one of the reasons that, yeah, this point is quite tough. Because not only can it get opened immediately from the outside, it's from 2 different directions. It's long tunnels and sightlines, which plays to the favor of attacker guns. And that's such a narrow corridor to be able to just smoke out everything. But Nesk with the run out, I believe, drops down Spawns, the run out from Strip, and Bullet gets taken down as well.
Yeah, nice pick here coming out from Nesk, taking Spawns down immediately, but Bullet going down might not affect anything here, but Sexy Cake with his famous P90.
Pro 90.
So did I say, yeah, Pro 90.
Pro 90.
Rook. They call this the Trad Rook build.
Oh, well, Sexy Cake is for sure the optimum. That I would say the optimum, Chad. But you can see, obviously, just the strip club run out from Nesk is really kind of panicked paiN. They're trying to get some information. They're trading the diffuser, whether that's an instant change of plan. Obviously, losing Spawns on the Jackal. Yeah, they're a fantastic Jackal player, but it's not the most integral part to this point. PSK is playing that tight corner. GCR is trying to shut down across the top alongside the Sophia. They know that someone is in that direction, but whether they know there's 2 people, I guess they're going to find out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they are going to try and find out. Zig again on this Echo, but a beautiful frag from Nesk. Is going to take down GCR. Beautiful frags indeed coming out from him. Nesk going to be pushing through from construction, trying to get into cash room. But he's aware there are more attackers around in this area. Zofia will be holding it all down. FK1 expecting a rotate shortly from Nesk. But, yeah, a lot of time wasted here from Liquid and a lot of utility coming out from paiN. But no real push at all. Flashbangs are going to go down. Smokes go out. And Zofia charges go out. All 3 Zofia charges onto Nesk as well. He just tanks it. And no one pushes out of that. But it's going to be PSK. Goes for those pre-fires, but does manage to find revolts through the smoke. 9 does take down PSK in a nice refrag, however. And it's going to be Nesk from above, who just tries to find a bit of vertical angle going down, but SexyCake, the Pro 90 pre-fire, just takes down 9. And FK1 is going to be the last man standing here in a 3v1. The quick piece coming out from SexyCake here with a crouch peek does successfully take down FK1. Team Liquid put themselves on match point.
Well, we talk about SexyCake and that Pro 90, and there it was, just toying with them. And you do think, obviously, we saw how much utility was thrown upstairs to try to dethrone Nesk, and then they just didn't combine that with a push. They were still worried, obviously, about being picked up from the side, about being locked off and firing all 3 of your stuns, and then not capitalizing on it. It's an interesting choice.
I think what it was is that they put all the stuns into him to stop him from abusing the vertical play more than anything, so that they could push in.
That's a fair shot.
But at the same time, he still had to contest with the Maestro there. He didn't really deal with it all until later on, and it all kind of fell apart there from paiN. Didn't go too well for them in that attack. They haven't been able to put a single round on the attacker wins just yet. But we're going to go back down to Church, also room defense, which I don't know here from paiN. Like, I want to say this was a good attack from them, but I still think that their operating lineup was pretty bad, considering. And GCR are going to do the tactical swap from the Maverick onto the Maverick, and Sexy Cake is going to take the Caviera here instead of the Pulse.
Yeah, Sexy Cake on Cav, obviously we've seen interrogations through this before, but no, quick change out to Ying.
He's just trying to hate this about players who do this, because they're trying to bait the casters out into saying something stupid, making us look stupid.
But we just read what's on screen.
We just read what's on screen. We just shout at the TV. We're not smart people.
There's ways to irritate us, but I'm not going to say them on stream. They're in secret caster chats that we have about just things that annoy us. But these games aren't one of them. They've been very great to watch. But what I'm excited about is Sexy Cake on that Cav, I was saying before. We've seen interrogates, we've seen Sexy Cake play very well on the Cav, we've seen the movement and the rotation from a player of that caliber with an operator of that capabilities is always an excitement in this kind of games. Obviously, you can see they're setting up clearing drones upstairs, gonna use that silent step just to mess with paiN. To be fair, time is something big. paiN have got to find a way to push hard, and maybe the pickup of the Ying is the start of that, because they've also currently got the Ying carrying the diffuser as well.
Maybe it'll be interesting strategy coming out. It's all going to be about momentum-based gameplay with the Ying, remember? I mean, she gets the Candelas off, she's got about 5 seconds to really capitalize on that if the Candelas do successfully go off after that. But after those 5 seconds are up, she's found in the middle of the site, and she's up a certain creek without a paddle.
Yeah, she is definitely in a tight spot. You can see they're draining out Cav. Sexy Cake's not going to have any of it. Going to pull off. Going to pull it back in slightly. Going to keep the movement and the rotation kind of messed up as GCR tries to close down from one side. Spawns is dropping in as well. They really want to shut down this roam. And again, the more time Sexy Cake can buy and the more utility Sexy can eat, well, the better it's going to work out. Revolts is droning as well. They are feeding Sexy Cake drones. FK is pulling in for the frag, though. They're trying to close down at the same time. There are spots coming in. GCR is going to turn and peek, and a very easy pickup against Nesk, who was completely distracted like a cat and a laser by spawns at the drop down.
But Sexy Cake does manage to put the first frag on the board for Liquid here, but Spawns gets another one for paiN. It's going to be Bullet going to go down, and GCR just pushes all the way through. But what I can't understand about how Nesk was holding that onto Logistics Hatch is that he was pinged out. They knew that he was there, and he still contested the Logistics Hatch. And regardless of whether he could have won the fight onto Logistics Hatch or not, he was completely distracted and tunnel visioned onto there.
Sexy Cake, in the meantime, has done a pretty big rotate down into the bottom of Garage. More just playing a game of hide and seek at the minute. And to be fair, if anyone's going to do it, Cav is a national champion. But Revolts started to push across Cash with the Buck. And there goes the kitchen drop down. I say a 9 looks like they're going to rotate, but there is a minute and they are changing the diffuser hands. They still have a lot of possibility, still have a lot of capability and utility on the board for them to start formulating their push.
Yeah, but it is a 4v3. paiN do have that man advantage, of course, but there's still a lot of roam potential here. Sexy Cake could rotate up through this Garage ladder, and yet he will do so. Comes through onto Garage. There's no claymores down on his return, so he could go for a beautiful flank here. 35 seconds left to go on the clock. The push is going to have to start coming through, and that means that Sexy Cake is going to have to move pretty damn quickly if he wants to pull off a successful flank here. Smokes are going to come down, so the execute is going to start to come through.
See smoke grenades going down as well. Sexy Cake still moving, still rotating, still a little bit worried, I guess. PSK has actually pulled a little bit back into the tunnel, running past. There is a brilliant stop of the defuse there. The diffuser goes down. Spawns manages to find Sexy Cake for the beautiful push from behind, and Echo's drone gets dropped, bringing in the second drone, but it's a bit too far away. The diffuser goes down, and the time he looked up from his screen, GCR had found him.
Unfortunate indeed. indeed coming out there from Zig right at the end. Didn't quite have the utility available to him to deny the plant. And it all just kind of fell apart from Liquid, just with a little bit too of an aggressive defense, especially from Ness going down as early as he did. Sexycake is leading the scoreboard here at 10-6, and they just need one more round on the board to close out the series. Of course, 2-0 in their favor, but paiN Gaming 1 round away from bringing this into overtime. We're still seeing most of the rounds, however, going into the defense's favor.
Yeah, so we're heading up to CCTV and Cash again, and you've got to think that obviously Nesk was a pretty bad misplay, just in terms of obviously an active ping, knew they were closing down. Could have been a very deciding factor there if they'd been a little bit less overzealous with this thing. But again, the word over. Whenever the word over is mentioned, it's normally never a good thing with how Siege plays are going. But they're still on match point. They're still rotating point. They're going to go to CCTV and Cash Room, which they held very well. Previously, the Sexycake, again, just locked down that garage entrance. If they can do that again, I think it'll be a very comfortable round for them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Yeah, could
bomb.
be it indeed. Let's go through and see how it's going to work out. Liquid are going to defend CCTV Cash Room, which I agree with. I think that if you're going to hold any site down, if you think that you're not looking too well, then yeah, I think this is potentially the safest site, especially with the multi-ban coming through, and especially because you have a mirror on the board. This is definitely a very easy site to hold on to, and I loved how Liquid held this last time, especially with that mirror window, but more especially with Sexycake and how well he managed to play into Garage.
And we do point out, obviously, that Maverick is a very good operator to bring on this point, and they did bring him last time, but they didn't use him very well. He couldn't quite find his feet and couldn't quite find the ability to remove this bandit charges. Bandit somehow won in the famous battle between the pair. So instead, they've actually opted to rotate him out for what looks like a more aggressive setup. So whether they're going to start pushing against Garage as well as Jim, they have the possibility to start taking this as more of a flat fight, kind of not ignoring East, but there it is. GCR is wasting no time at all, pushing from the opposite side, trying to close down and just force and restrict movements.
The big thing about this, though, this time, is that there's no Maverick coming out from paiN Gaming, but last time, honestly, it kind of worked against them.
Yep. Now we can see that they've set up the Claymores for runouts. They're trying to put as much pressure on this Jim side as they can. They're trying to bring this to a flat fight as well. They're almost completely ignoring Garage in that cutoff, and Spawns himself has already dropped in and is looking for those footprints to try to just catch them off guard. Now, this is going to be, I guess, unexpected. Liquid are going to feel as they start to push, and Sexycake with a very choice rotation there, and I think got lucky that they were caught the attackers unaware.
Yeah, well, that was a very aggressive just changeover from Sexycake there. As he will survive it, but FK1 will be insanely lit up right now, as construction control is very much into the favor of paiN Gaming right now. But Bandit Tricky is going to start coming out. That's going to remove 2 Habana charges off the board onto construction there, and that is not good at all. Liquid looking very nice to try and take this right now. Spawns is also going to get very lit up. And just the Echo Drones are just going to be doing work here. Zig just all the way up with a shotgun. What? So aggressive from Zig. Continues to push into construction. He scores another one. He scores another one. Zig with a 3K. How does he do it? It's a 5v1, a 4v1. As Spawns finds the first kill for paiN. And he's left alone. 4 members of Liquid on the board. He's going to have to find all 4 of them because he does not have control of the diffuser. It's been left abandoned. Oh, what a shot from Spawns. Takes down Nesk. Expecting that peak, probably with a drone in construction, takes it down. And it's going to be a 3v1 situation now.
Now, I saw Echo pinging those shots against him, and I thought, he's not going to do it. But by gum, did he go and do it? And he picked up the 3K, and it is down to a very injured Spawns against 2 very injured defenders, but a full health Mirror. 30 seconds on the clock. They know exactly where Mirror's coming, Jackal's coming from, and they will know if they change direction as well, because of all that barbed wire, all that utility. There is so much information to be gathered. Gonna throw the smoke, gonna try and push up the eastern stairs instead. Try to catch them a little bit in the middle, a little bit away. They're watching it, they're ready for it. They've moved over to the diffuser as well. They've completely left the point. They know they don't need it, but Bullet finds the frag against Spawns, and that is a GG in the favor of Liquid.
Yeah, very well played indeed there by Liquid. Do very much deservedly take the series 2-0. They will knock out paiN Gaming, and they will secure themselves a 4th place as well, I believe.
Yes, I say as yes, they have secured themselves a 4th place. They move up to then play against Team 1, and that will be in about 2 days, I believe.
Yeah, so we won't be playing tomorrow because, of course, we do have Pro League on tomorrow for Latin America. We'll see the last Latin America Pro League play day there, so that should be good. But there you can see our top 4 teams now: our Ninjas Pajamas, FaZe Clan, Team 1 Esports, and Team Liquid. Team 1 Esports and Team Liquid will go against each other in losers round 3 on Thursday, so that should be good. Tune in at 6 p.m. BRT, 11 p.m. CEST then. And we will see you then. I've been your caster, James Stern Parkinson. I'll be joined once again by the dashingly, beautifully handsome William Fluke Donaldson.
It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you all on Thursday. Goodbye and good night.